From the station with the most local news in our West Michigan, Fox 17 News at 10 starts right now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Francis.
I'm Janice Allen. First tonight at 10, the Food and Drug Administration has approved a new experimental drug to treat Alzheimer's disease. It is the first drug that they've approved for this condition in nearly 20 years. The FDA says aducanumab targets the underlying cause of Alzheimer's, the most common form of dementia, rather than its symptoms.
Taking a deeper look at some numbers here. According to the Alzheimer's Association, more than 6 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's, which kills more people than breast and prostate cancer combined. This year alone, they say in 2021, Alzheimer's and other dementias will cost the U.S. $355 billion. Could rise to more than $1.1 trillion by the year 2050. Over 11 million Americans provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's and other dementias. We'll have more on the families today's news may impact in just a few moments with our Marisa Oberle.
But first, let's begin in studio with Aaron Parsagian, who has a closer look at this drug and the trials that led up to the announcement today. Aaron?
Yeah, Derek and Janice, the approval is not without controversy. Last November, a key FDA panel questioned the drug's effectiveness in actually slowing down the disease. But despite that, researchers are still calling this an incredible breakthrough.
New hope could be on the way for those suffering from the very early stages of Alzheimer's. The FDA approving an experimental IV drug called aducanumab that drug maker Biogen says will slow the progression of the memory-destroying disease. But despite FDA approval, that's still being questioned. There were two major studies conducted. One found no benefit to taking the drug. The second showed a 22% reduction in cognitive decline.
I think this is really encouraging for the field that this really complex and devastating disease we may actually be able to modify it to slow progression, to stop progression.
Dr. Michael Henderson is a professor and neuroscientist at Van Andel Institute in Grand Rapids. He says while there are questions if the drug will indeed slow the progression of Alzheimer's, there's no question that the drug can do what it's aimed to do, destroy a toxic protein that clumps in the brains of Alzheimer's patients.
They're providing that antibody so your body can recognize that protein and hopefully clear it from the brain. And I think what these types of studies have shown is that we had thought maybe this wouldn't be efficacious in the brain, but it turns out that they can enter the brain and remove some of these toxic proteins. I think it's really remarkable that all the research done has really shown that this is a possible way to clear what we think is a toxic protein from the body.
And that could be a breakthrough for not just Alzheimer's, but other neurodegenerative diseases.
Hopefully, this is kind of a proof of principle molecule that we could use similar techniques to target other, proteins that may have even a larger impact.
And it will take several months for the drug to become available, and when it is, it will be expensive. Estimates say from $30,000 to $50,000 for the first year of treatment. Derek, Janice.
All right, Aaron, thank you. And despite the controversy surrounding the approval today, local families impacted by Alzheimer's believe this is a step forward in the effort to find a cure.
Yeah, Fox 17's Marisa Oberle joining us from the newsroom to explain that tonight. Marisa.
Derek and Janice, the woman I spoke to, says when she saw the news, she texted her mom and sister and then cried. While it's too late for this medication to make a difference in her dad's life, she thinks it may help prevent other families in West Michigan from experiencing the pain hers did.
Don Hoyam calls it a gift.
My dad's birthday's in a few days, and this month, we think about him and reflect on him a lot.
The FDA on Monday approving the first drug which directly targets a toxic protein in the brain linked to Alzheimer's.
There's so many terrible diseases out there, but Alzheimer's steals something that is so different.
The disease which took the life of Don's father, Bill Garner, in 2014.
You think, well, I'll always have my memories. They can't take away my memories. I mean, that's something that we say. And it's not true.
A devoted family and businessman, the loss hurt.
For the last couple of years he was alive, he couldn't recall my name and certainly call me by name. And that's just crushing to a loved one, not just a child, but to spouses. My parents were married over 50 years. before my father passed away.
Bill's diagnosis came 8 years before his death, but Dawn says they noticed signs up to 2 years before it. Alzheimer's ran in the family, with 3 of his 6 siblings and numerous cousins impacted by it. They cared for him the best they could, but eventually moved him into an assisted living facility near their home in Ada.
An Alzheimer's diagnosis was a diagnosis that was void of any hope.
A long, difficult experience. Dawn believes the new medication, at the least, eases the journey tied to an Alzheimer's diagnosis.
Maybe their path will not look like mine and won't look like our families. It'll be different, and they'll be able to hold on to their loved one and their ability to be really active in life a lot longer than we were able to.
But she's holding out hope that it gives an even bigger gift.
From here, hopefully, the next step is let's go find a cure. We've checked one of the boxes. There's 2 more to go, prevention and cure.
The Alzheimer's Association of Michigan says early detection is key since it's likely the drug will be geared towards those recently diagnosed. Registration for the annual walk in Grand Rapids is now open. It's happening this coming October, and the money raised there helps fund research like this. If you would like to sign up or find more information about it, you can visit fox17online.com. Reporting live in the newsroom, Marisa Oberly, Fox 17 News.